This is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. You can email us at randykabc@gmail.com. You can follow me on social media at Randy Wang Radio and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcast. Do a Google on the YouTube, like and subscribe. There, I got all the plugs out of the way. Street takeovers are a persistent annoyance in the state of California, especially in Southern California. And while you think these things might jump the shark every single week with the madness, this one really did, as apparently a mother may have taken her kids to go do donuts at a street takeover this weekend. What? There were small children in the car, and even the patrons who love illegal activity were trying to be like, hell no, get those small kids out of here. For more, here's Fox 11.
A street takeover this weekend ends up with participants actually stopping one of the drivers from doing something even too dangerous for them.
She had children in that vehicle. Fox 11's Christina.
Who brings 4-year-olds to a street takeover?
She had children in that vehicle. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez in South LA with video you'll see only on Fox 11. Christina.
Yeah, this happened this weekend right behind us here. And the people who were there who are sharing the video with us are saying that they know that these things have a reputation for being dangerous, but that...
You mean because they crash into things, people shoot guns into the air, they loot 7-Elevens, and they set cars on fire? What's dangerous about all that?
That they don't want anybody to get hurt, especially children. Look at this. A crowd gathers around one of the vehicles at a street takeover. Black SUV had been doing donuts along with other vehicles on Normandy engaged Sunday night, but people in the crowd stopped that black SUV when they realized there were children inside.
There were kids doing donuts in the back seat.
You see someone taking young kids out of the SUV. At one point, this exchange with the driver.
Drunk driving with kids! I'm not even drunk! You're getting your...
What was that?
Drunk driving with kids! I'm not even drunk! You're getting your kids taken away!
You're bleeping drunk driving with your kids. I'm not even drunk. That's the woman who is doing the donuts with her kids, apparently. I don't know if they're her kids or some, who knows? And then he says, you're getting your kids taken away.
Drunk driving with kids! I'm not even drunk! You're getting your kids taken away!
If you're not even drunk, I don't know if that's better or worse that you're doing donuts with your kids.
All this in front of residents at the intersection who say the takeovers happen almost every weekend.
Y ella la que andaba manejando con los niños.
She was driving with the kids. Estaba dando donuts. Estaba dando vueltas.
Estaba dando vueltas ahí.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, the mom didn't want to talk?
The driver of the black SUV did not answer her door as we wanted to give her an opportunity to explain her side of the story.
Where's child services?
People at the takeover, wary that it is an illegal activity, only spoke off camera saying the children were taken away by a relative. LAPD telling Fox 11 they responded to the takeover, but everyone scattered by the time they got there. Residents say they...
And the thing is, unless you have a completely organized SWAT team where you're calling in the CHP and the National Guard and other services, you're just completely outnumbered to be able to go after everyone because there's so many people. It's the unfortunate thing that we're seeing, whether it's a street takeover or those vandals in downtown LA. If the cops are outnumbered, good luck arresting.
Residents say they wish LAPD would stop them altogether.
Como 2 veces me
2 times already. When they run off, they hit the cars. So, wow. She says her insurance has gone through the roof after having to fix her car, one of the many on the block that have been hit, even while they're not taking part in all this. As for the woman in that SUV, there's no indication that she was arrested. LAPD still investigating.
Well, there's video of her trying to do donuts in the middle of a street takeover with her children. I think getting arrested is the least of her problems at this point.
And people who are identifying themselves as family members are posting that the children are fine, that they are with family members. But again, no indication of any arrests here this weekend. And we'll have to see if they follow up on this particular incident.
We will follow up on that, but this is a persistent problem, whether there's 4-year-olds in the back or not. These street takeovers happen every single weekend all throughout Southern California and Northern California. And a few months ago, Holly Mitchell put together a task force at the LA County Board of Supervisors made up of CHP, Compton PD, LA County sheriffs to try to see what they could do. They also had Department of Youth Development. And I think at one point, Barbara Ferrer was going to be on this task force, but she wasn't at this meeting. So maybe we've realized that's not such a good idea. But let's hear an update from yesterday's Board of Supervisors meeting on the progress of what we're doing at a county level to stop street takeovers.
In terms of goal 1, which is increasing outreach, education, and prevention, we've had DPH and DYD and street racing takeovers connect a number of workshops within the schools, within communities.
Okay, so the first thing the county is doing to stop street takeovers is they're sending Barbara Ferrer to the schools to do some kind of version of red asphalt. All right.
Serving a multiple of partners in multiple different areas. They have been collecting data to understand from pre and post tests what is really working. They've surveyed 447 participants to figure out what has actually been impactful and found there's a number.
They do a seminar for the kids, and then they have the kids take a survey. And they pay attention to that, just like you pay attention to all of your HR courses. I'm sure you do. You could skip to the end of the video.
And found there's a number of key things that the youth are really responding to around issues of loss of life, injury, destruction of property, criminal consequences, and how these affects.
This is going to be like the thing they did when I was in high school. Maybe they did it when you were in high school, where to create awareness for drunk driving, they have an announcement over the intercom and they say that one of your students has passed away in a drunk driving accident. And then a couple of students walk around in ghost makeup all day. It's always kind of weird.
Really play out. In terms of infrastructure, Public Works has been in action of completing installations at Compton Avenue, Atlantic Boulevard.
See, this is the other tactic, and it's an interesting one. One way to stop the street takeovers is the most busiest intersections, the one that these happen a lot. You put up bollards, you put up dividers, maybe you put up a roundabout, whatever. You make it so normal traffic can still drive through, but it's very difficult to do donuts without blowing out your tires. The problem is, do you have a budget to do that for every intersection in a county as massive as LA? Because they might stop doing it at that intersection, but they'll just move to another one.
Looking at enhancing deterrence across other intersections with Avalon Boulevard, East 135th, and other areas.
Most of what they're talking about is in the South LA area because this is Holly Mitchell's task force, and she's got a lot of people complaining about the street takeovers in her district.
In terms of expanding enforcement efforts, we have signed an MOU that across 10 law enforcement agencies to work together to figure out how we can better enforce the laws that we do have.
We need numbers. That's what we need. You need numbers. You need to do what they did in San Joaquin County, where you block off every possible exit of an intersection, get the tow trucks ready, and cite and tow every single car out of there, whether they're a participant or whether they're the person doing the donuts with the kids in the back. Every car gets towed, and no one gets their car back till the case is adjudicated. That worked up there.
We are in the process of creating changes to Ordinance Chapter 1346 around street takeovers and expanding that based on the board's direction from the last time that we presented, as well as looking at developing internal policies for issuing and processing administrative fees. And we're learning from other jurisdictions.
I don't know if the fees are going to do it. Do you know how much money these criminals are making off of TikTok? Which they do address, and it's something that is a big part of the problem here. If there wasn't a way to make money off of these things through social media, whether it's TikTok or Snapchat, or I don't know if they do it on Insta, but the fact that we give people an avenue to profit off of illegal activity by filming it and people giving it likes, that's a big problem.
And we're learning from other jurisdictions who are doing this so that we can implement best learning here in LA County. And then in terms of engaging community and communication strategies, we are right now finalizing a 5-signature letter, also directed by your board, that we're going to send to social media platform companies to ask them to enforce their own laws and look at demonetizing these types of posts.
I mean, I like the spirit of that, but I feel like that doesn't have any teeth. Now, I don't know if you can enforce this at the local level. I don't know if you need to get the state government or even the federal government involved. But these social media platforms that are making tons and tons and tons of money every day off of our data, right now, they're incentivized to allow the illegal content because it gets more viewers to their platform. And they could argue it's way too hard to police this stuff, but it really shouldn't be. Because you know who the problem actors are. 99% of the people on TikTok are not doing street takeovers. But the people that are, they're prominent for that. You know what the accounts are. You know what the accounts were for all the people that taught all the kids how to steal Kias. There's got to be a way, and if there isn't a way, then these companies have got to pay. Oh, no, that rhymed. But they need to actually be able to enforce not having anyone profit off the filming of illegal content. That just shouldn't be a thing. So I don't know if the locals can do something about that. That might be something we have to get the federal government involved for, or start fining the hell out of these companies, because there wouldn't be the street takeovers if there wasn't social media. That's why these things didn't exist 10 years ago.
We're also looking with DYD and Street Racing Kills about...
Oh, gosh. Street Racing Kills. That's the organization that was at the last one of these task force meetings. They did not get invited back, where they said this is all Vin Diesel's fault because these kids grew up on the Fast and the Furious. I don't even think those movies are about doing donuts anymore. Maybe the first 3 were, but now they're like taking out terrorists, and I don't know. Never seen one, probably will never see one.
How we develop coverage on the dangers of this, including testimony from young folks. And our SAFE community partner held a poster competition where 1,000 students talked about road safety, street racing, created YouTube videos, and the winner will be posted on YouTube, and they expect about 10 million views of that winning post.
Wait, what? Hold on a second. We're sponsoring a contest where kids draw a poster about how bad street takeovers are, and then they put it on YouTube, and the kid wins a prize. And this is part of the task force of how to crack down on street takeovers? I'm afraid to ask what's next.
In terms of identifying street and legal alternatives, our work group has been working on what this looks like. To Supervisor Hahn's point at the last meeting, you asked us to get a definitive answer on whether Terminal Island would be a viable solution. The answer is no, but it is determined. The answer is no. But we did reach out with help actually of your field offices too.
So one of the things that this task force is doing is identifying potential locations where the down-ass kids who go to these things that light things on fire and rob the 7-Elevens can enjoy the donuts in a safe, legal environment.
The neighborhood kids, the down-ass kids don't like it.
I don't know if that's really the drive here.
Get that answer.
I know we're going to ask questions. Why?
They say that their space is completely, yes. We also got a definitive no from Victoria Golf Course and SoFi Stadium. However...
Wait, they're trying to do street takeovers at SoFi? Oh, my goodness. That's quite the ask. Well, the Rams play there. You've got those big concerts. Taylor Swift was there for 5 days. Hey... Can we destroy the stadium by cars doing donuts and crashing into the stands?
However, we are looking at Pomona Fairgrounds, Carson, and looking at other places where we can get some sponsorship and support of doing something in other areas. And
now, later on in the meeting, Catherine Barger, the chair of the Board of Supervisors, asked specifically about that, about getting a safe place for the kids. Is that really the solution here? Do we just need an outlet where these kids can watch all the crazy destruction and they don't have to tear up the streets? Well, when she asked law enforcement about that, they had an interesting response.
And then I don't know if you can answer this question, and I look to both CHP and Sheriff on this, and maybe you can't, but, we've talked about, I know Supervisor Hahn has been very focused on seeing if we can open up an area for our youth, and I think that some of the...
By the way, they're also admitting to us right now why you don't see any arrests, because so many of the participants are teenagers. And they really don't want to keep filling up Los Padrinos.
Some of the places she suggested have kind of been shut down. Are you hearing from those that are involved with street racing, is it the thrill of being out in the community that is part of why they do it? Or do you think that if we did secure a location, that would help offset? Because I've heard both sides. I've heard that the kids actually find it more thrilling to be out in the community doing this versus in a structured environment. But I'd be curious to know, because if it's going to help move it off the public streets, I'm all for it.
So Catherine Barger asked law enforcement, so what about that? Can we find a place, a legal alternative to street takeovers? Is that something we could do?
Well, just to give you an answer, and my professional opinion is that it is a thrill ride for these individuals. They are thrill seekers. It is something that is a phenomenon that obviously that has been created after COVID. And
boy, we do blame COVID for everything, don't we?
They don't want a structured environment. They don't. From what we see, they don't want a structured environment, unfortunately.
No, because the appeal is the law breaking and the clicks that come from it. And how exactly are you going to get a permit to light a car on fire at SoFi Stadium?
Ma'am, and I echo Commander Bell's sentiments there. Not only that, it's starting to morph. Maybe 2-3 years ago, this was a collection of kids just, having fun, blowing off steam. It's becoming a much more organized criminal environment now. So, like he said, it doesn't matter where it's occurring, and they have no interest.
Yeah, it's not that you just get so amped up from the nitrous and the people doing donuts that you raid the 7-Eleven. That's the point.
And
then you're extra incentivized to broadcast all that destruction on social media.
As far as the information that I've obtained of going somewhere to be able to carry out these activities.
That's what I've heard, but I think you all are on the front lines, so who better to kind of let us know? Because I'm sure it is the thrill of the street takeover and the adrenaline that goes with that, and then the anticipation of law enforcement showing up and then taking off, and then you make the news, and it just all comes together.
Yeah, social media completely drives all the street takeovers. So instead of the news, picture it as social media posts and likes, because that's really what drives all of these activities.
Yeah, they don't care if it makes the local news. They care if it makes the socials, and they get the clicks. And it's not just the organizers, but even the participants. If they're filming it, they could be getting clicks. They're doing live broadcasting, and people are giving them tips right there on TikTok and Snapchat. So here's what I'd love to hear from you. At 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222, because this is a question that is legitimately being asked by the LA County Board of Supervisors and something that we are paying for in a task force to investigate. Do you think the down-ass kids that go to street takeovers would be cool with a safe, legal alternative, or is the criminality the attraction? Do you think the down-ass kids that go to street takeovers go there because cars do donuts, or they go there because it's illegal? 800-222-KABC is the phone number, 1-800-222-5222. Your thoughts on LA County exploring a safe, legal alternative to street takeovers. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Put yourself in the shoes of the down-ass kids.
The neighborhood kids, the down-ass kids don't like it.
Do you think they would prefer a safe, legal alternative, or do they go to these street takeovers because they're destructive and illegal? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Get on the line right now. Give me a call on this. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. We're taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. The LA County Board of Supervisors is exploring a safe, legal alternative for street takeovers. They actually approached SoFi Stadium, who said no. Do you think the down-ass kids that go to street takeovers are looking for a safe, legal alternative to watch people do donuts, or are they just attracted to the illegal activity that they can film on social media? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Give me a call. Tell me what you think about LA County exploring a safe, legal alternative for these little monsters. 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. If you're on hold, stay on hold. We'll get to your calls next. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. This is the News Blitz with Randy Wang on Talk Radio 790 KABC. We're here every single day from 5 to 6 talking about the local issues that matter to you most and taking your phone calls at 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Your emails as well at randykabc@gmail.com. Follow me on social media at Randy Wang Radio and search for the KABC News Blitz wherever you get your podcasts. Search for us on YouTube. Hit like on every episode. LA County Board of Supervisors are trying to crack down on street takeovers. And one of the things their task force has been doing has been trying to find a safe, legal alternative to street takeovers. They even approached SoFi Stadium to see if SoFi Stadium would like to host a bunch of people doing donuts. SoFi said no. Do you think the down-ass kids that go to street takeovers want a safe, legal alternative just to watch people do stunts, or the reason they're there is for the illegal activity and the social media likes? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. Let's go to Fabian in Fullerton. Fabian, hello.
Hi, how are you, Randy?
Doing great.
Listen, Beverly Hills is in Los Angeles County. How come I never hear about street takeovers in Beverly Hills? Is that because they got better police or they just don't allow it?
That's a really good point.
Well, by the way, regarding where the kids want a safe place or is it the thrill of being illegal? No, they don't want a safe place. They want to do everything illegal, just like illegal fireworks, just like illegal drugs. They don't want to do anything by the book. And if there's a place that's going to be safe, nobody's going to go there. They're just going to keep doing it in the street. And again, if the city of Beverly Hills is in LA County, there's no street takeovers there. Somebody should ask the question, what do they do about it? That's all I
think
got.
That's something that should be in the task force for sure, Fabian. Some very interesting questions. You notice there are certain cities that do not allow this. In fact, you don't hear about that many of these in Orange County. I wonder why. Let's go to Roger in Carson. Roger, hello.
Hey, Randy. How you doing? I love your show. Love the topics you bring up. Really informative. Actually, just so you said that, they do have them in Orange County, and I live in Orange County, but I work in LA County, so I love the stuff you bring up. But they definitely love being outlaws. It's basically an in-your-face to law enforcement and everybody. And they had Irwindale Speedway, which was pretty iconic, and they had every Thursday night run what you brung. You could go on the 8th Mile racetrack for $20. You can race it all night long. Just get back in line and go, go, go. They also had a burnout box the size of an intersection, and you could, same thing, price of entry, $10, $15. You drive in there and you can do your donuts and burn your tires off, whatever you wanted to. So it's about breaking the law, and it's about doing what they want when they want. Kind of like homeless people that don't want to be in shelters because they want the freedom and liberty to do what they want when they want.
If we allow lawlessness, they're going to take them up on it. You know, it's interesting, though. LA County, they explored trying to bring back Irwindale for this. I think it's already closing and it's going to turn into a development. But apparently to this kinds of events with the cars lit on fire and the other dangerous activity that goes on, there's no way any venue could insure it.
People hanging out the windows. I'm blown away at the videos that I see where they're hanging out the windows and People are running around in the intersection, getting hurt. People are putting their lives on the line for craziness. It's crazy. And I still like to have fun, but I would never do that.
Yeah, this is a far cry from going to Irwindale and doing a drag strip. Thanks for the call, Roger. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Douglas in L.A. Douglas, hello.
Hey, Douglas, Randy, you got it correct. Take the car, get the tow truck, and take the cars away.
We've got to do that. That's the one thing that will stop them is if you take all of these cars, especially these modified ones with the NOS, get them off the road, and you don't get your car back till the case is adjudicated. And that includes the participants as well. If you show up, you get your car towed.
Take your car. Yeah, take your car, take the cars, take the cars. You got it 100% right. Take the cars, get the tow trucks, take the cars. What is the hardest thing about that? Knock the street off, take the cars. You got it 100%, man.
I love it. Thanks for the call, Douglas. Appreciate it. And we got to also change the process here, because if you are using your vehicle for blatant illegal activity, whether you're crashing it into a 7-Eleven so you can rob it, or you're doing donuts with all these other things, and you're crashing into buildings, you're causing these incredibly unsafe situations, we should completely cut down the process, cut all the red tape, and crush that car into a cube. Let's go to Joe in Sun Valley. Joe, hello.
Hey, Randy, I agree with you and Douglas 100%. I was going to say to you, take that task force money, create a strike force, multi-agency, so you guys can go out there, arrest the participants, confiscate the cars. If they're minors, hey, guess what, parents? Your minor just cost you $1,000 fine. And as long as the car is impounded, it's going to, keep accruing costs every day. It's impounded. You make it financially impossible for these people to get their car back, and you make it financially impossible for them to participate in these activities. I live in Sun Valley right by the Kohl's Shopping Center. There's not a night that doesn't have somebody in there doing burnouts in the parking lot.
And we know where these things are happening. We know where the popular ones are. And I think you're right. We need to have a show of force. Instead of giving money to Barbara Ferrer to hold seminars at high schools, we need to have as many agencies as possible make a huge takedown and make the charges stick. And that shows them that this isn't going to be tolerated anymore.
When you mentioned Barbara Ferrer and her little sideshow, I laughed. I literally driving on the 5 freeway north, I'm laughing my ass off, excuse my language, at the joke that she's making of these situations.
Yeah, the fact that we're using any money from a task force to have Barbara Ferrer speak at schools, that's not going to help us at all. Joe, thanks so much for the call. Appreciate it. 800-222-KABC is the phone number. Let's go to Bill in La Cañada. Bill, hello.
Hey, Randy, that was a clear case of Penal Code 273 AA child endangerment violation by that lady with the kids. But what's more dangerous, dodging crazy Barbara Ferrer's heroin needles for junkies in the local parks, or doing donuts with crazy mama?
Oh, I'm pretty split on that one.
Don't criminalize DEI moms. Don't criminalize donuts.
Thanks for the call, Bill. Appreciate it. The phone number is 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. The LA County Board of Supervisors, in their task force to get rid of street takeovers, is exploring a safe, legal alternative to street takeovers. They even approached SoFi Stadium. SoFi said no. Do you think the down-ass kids that go to street takeovers are looking for a safe, legal alternative, or is the reason they go the illegal activity that comes with it? 800-222-KABC, 1-800-222-5222. More of your calls coming up next. Stay on hold. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. LA County is looking for a safe, legal alternative for street takeovers, and they actually asked SoFi Stadium. SoFi said no. Do you think the down-ass kids want a safe, legal alternative to street takeovers?
The neighborhood kids, the down-ass kids don't like it.
I should really get Imelda's opinion on this. Let's go to Sherry in Granada Hills. Sherry, hello.
Hey, hi. How you doing, Randy? So glad to talk to you again. weighing in again. I just feel like I listen to you and John during the day, and this whole city council is such a freaking embarrassment. I mean, I feel like we are dealing with the worst enabling parents on the planet. You know what I mean? I mean, these kids, mix this. I don't even want to say kids. You know, it's just people, they just want to break the law. We had it here in Granada Hills for quite a while until they pretty much cracked down on it, and it's gotten a little better. But, I mean, you mix that with the fireworks, with everything else. It's like some kind of every night Lord of the Flies celebration. I don't know what's happening, you know? I mean, for them to say, oh, we're going to do this, you know, we're going to make this legal, and that's not going to be exciting for anybody. The part of the excitement for these guys is breaking the law and doing something they're going to do and not get caught. It's like the drag races back in the day, you know? And if they would have made that legal, it wouldn't have been half the fun for people. I'm not saying me. I'm just saying that's probably one of the draws. I was there at the Irwindale. Douglas was talking about the Irwindale. I was there when they were doing that. That was nuts. It was some kind of Mad Max thing with all these people racing in circles, and it was pretty cool, really, to watch. But not on the streets. I'm sorry. And for us to pay for an arena, I mean us, we will end up paying for it because it will come out of the taxpayers. You know, so no,
and we'd have to self-insure it.
Yeah. I'm not paying for them to be breaking the law, you know, while they let them do this. That's insane. No, you break the law. I agree with all these guys that are talking before me. You get your car taken away. You're going to act like this. People are getting killed. People are getting hurt, not to mention the business owners who are getting ripped off and all these things. No, man. You do something wrong, you have to pay for it. That's the way it is, or else you're going to have lawlessness. And I'm not okay with that. I don't know about anybody else, but that's my 2 cents. Thank you for letting me talk.
Thank you so much for calling in, Sherry. We love you. And that's what we have here. We have lawlessness in Los Angeles County and California. It is interesting. There are neighborhoods that will not put up with this. And it depends on who your local representative is. Why are so many of these things happening in Holly Mitchell's district? Well, ask Holly Mitchell. I mean, she's got a task force, but most of that task force is having Barbara Ferrer do seminars and looking for a safe legal alternative. More of your phone calls coming up. If you're on hold, stay on hold. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC. Time for the lightning round. You got about 45 seconds when I go to you. Let's go to Ben in L.A. Ben, hello.
I was born in Compton, but I also lived in Hollywood, all around town. I got caught in a street takeover. It was 1 block from LAPD. Took 45 minutes for them to come. I don't know if they were bribed or told to stay away, but it was unbelievable. Like 30,000 people. How would police enforce that anyway? Arrest and confiscate hundreds of cars? Okay, but I think that is a huge money-making opportunity if you can somehow get it done, sanctioned legally, have the people sign off so that no one is liable. It is a fun thing to watch. Sometimes there's so much smoke you can't see the cars. But when you sanction it, you're going to stop the other activity, which is fireworks, lasers, even gunshots, and you'll, I think, come out with a better situation. I know it's challenging, but it's kind of like saying in a small town, no dancing. How is that going to go? So I think we should look for ways to do this. Can you imagine if you have a high entrance fee, like $1,000, and you got 1,000 people participating? That's a lot of money. That's an opportunity to keep people off the street where they're going to run people over. It's also an opportunity to let people try their cars out, test their cars out. Some young people are spending all their money, $100,000, $200,000 on a modified car. It is
now. If we put this in a venue, thanks for the call, Ben. Do we also have like a 7-Eleven in the middle that the kids can loot inside the stadium? Let's go to Irene in Sunland. Irene, hello.
Yes, hi. Yeah, I remember, I believe in the 80s, we had a city council man, Joel Wax, and he was pushing for safe drag racing, like at these at these speedways like the Long Beach or wherever they have them at. And, they have a need, I'm not going to say kids, but they have a need for speed or whatever. And let them have a safe place to go fast, because sometimes you're at a signal and maybe you want to race somebody, but it should be in a safe environment, and let them have their fun and have it safe.
Is there a safe way for them to torch a car too? Because they like doing that there too.
Well, I kind of miss those, but I remember in the day. I remember when I was younger, they would have a speed race right at Tuxford and Glen Oaks, and they'd kind of take over that thrifty gas station. But anyways, but I don't see those anymore. But that was many years ago. But it's just getting out of hand. If they probably had this legally done before, it probably wouldn't amount to all this other destruction.
Maybe, but they also kind of like the fact that it's illegal. Let's go to Victor in Southgate. Victor, hello.
Yeah, they have to have a task force, because all they care about is nonsense. Just blowing things up, burning. They're not going to follow laws. They have to have a task force, and where they'll come out and impound their cars, crush them, don't return their cars, crush their cars, and then if they're underage, you contact their parents, let them know.
I love it. That's exactly what we got to do, Victor. We're out of time, everyone. Thanks so much for the calls. We'll see if there will be a safe legal alternative, but I doubt it. It's the News Blitz with Randy Wang on KABC.